Hello friends, and not yet friends. Mapo Tofu has been highly requested here on Mary's Test Kitchen, and you know, I love giving you what you want. So today we're making one of the best known dishes from Sichuan cuisine, vegan. Intensely flavored with fermented ingredients, spicy hot, which you can adjust, along with a curious mouth-tingling sensation from Sichuan peppers. Totally different from the Cantonese cuisine I grew up with, but let's give it a go. Starting with those special fermented ingredients you'll need to get at your local Asian store with a decent selection of Chinese ingredients or online. I've left you links in the description so you can find them easily. You're welcome. First, fermented broad bean paste, aka doubanjiang. Look for the reference to Sichuan, the county in Sichuan province famous for this stuff. This will give our Mapo tofu its characteristic red color. And this stuff is strong, so when you're at the store, you might even smell it before you see it. Maybe. This brand is super salty as well. Kicks you in the face with that salt. Some are not as salty, so you'll want to give it a tiny taste. Just dip the tip of a chopstick in, and taste as you go with this recipe so you can adjust easily and get to know the ingredients, so you can do your own inventing later. Next, you'll want some douchi, or daosi, which are fermented black beans. Again, you're going to want to look for those black beans from Sichuan, especially if you're not familiar with how to select douchi. Without getting too much into it, they don't have to be from there, but there are other varieties and it can get confusing, so you might as well go straight for this kind. For both of these, you'll want to chop them up finely so you and your guests don't bite into super salty chunks, which can ruin the experience. Ask me how I know. One more special ingredient, whole Sichuan peppercorns, which will give this dish its characteristic mouth-numbing sensation. It's not spicy hot though, it doesn't burn. It tingles and there's a little floral essence to the flavor that I appreciate. So it's really up to you whether you want to include this, but I highly encourage you just to give it a try if you've never tried it. It's really interesting. Freshly toasted in a hot pan for less than 30 seconds until they just turn fragrant and ground, give you the strongest flavor. Pre-ground stuff is almost completely useless. But hey, if that's all you got, it's all you got. As always, the full ingredients and instructions will be linked below. Then for the main ingredient, Silken tofu, also known as smooth tofu. The store-bought stuff is going to be quite a bit firmer than the homemade Silken tofu from last week, so it'll hold together better in the dish. But hey, it's your Mapo tofu, and there are no rules. Use what you want. Carefully cut the tofu into large bite-sized pieces. I like them big, so even if they break up a little in the wok, we'll still have nice-sized pieces at the end. Simmer them in water. This step will firm up the tofu a bit more, and you can add salt so that the tofu gets salty all the way on the inside. But truth be told, when I'm lazy, I skip this. Drain and set aside. I'm using a popular ground beef alternative here to replace the traditionally used pork or beef, making things easy. But you can also sub chopped mushrooms. A blend of shiitake and cremini would be really delicious here. We start with oil in the wok. When cooking more traditional Chinese food, my feeling is that a wok is best, even if you have to settle for a flat-bottomed wok. Some chefs will be passionate about this from a technical point of view, but for me, it's more about feeling, sentimentality, than anything else. And just brown up that ground. If you're using mushrooms, you'll cook until the mushrooms are well shrunk and fragrant. For this stuff, we just want to heat it through and get a little color. I'll add in some vegan Worcestershire sauce for some faux beefiness, though honestly, with all the other flavors we'll have in this dish, it's not really necessary. Transfer that to a dish, set it aside, and scrub out your wok if anything's stuck. Now for the interesting stuff. Doubanjiang, the fermented broad bean paste. Again, make sure you chop this up. Even though it's liquidy, there are chunks in there that are just a kick in the face to bite through. We'll fry this fragrant over low heat, careful not to burn, just a half minute or so. Then the aromatics, garlic, ginger, scallion whites. We'll add the dark green parts later. And chopped douchi, fermented black beans. This is the stuff in garlic black bean sauce, by the way. Let that sizzle and turn up the heat if you have to. Also, the Sichuan pepper that I should have ground up a bit finer than this, but I was impatient. Friends, learn from my mistakes. Be more patient. When you think you're being patient already, be even more patient. Life lessons. Add the drained tofu and some water to pick up that paste. And the browned ground or mushrooms. You'll want to add enough water to almost submerge the tofu and turn the heat up to bring this to a simmer. Use your spatula or wooden spoon to make sure the paste at the bottom gets brought up, but be gentle so you don't break the tofu. I almost forgot the spicy hot heat. I'm using chili oil because I find it easier to control the heat this way, but you can certainly use red pepper flakes if you like. Now we'll simmer for a few minutes so all the flavors can meld together. And add the dark scallion bits for that freshness and color. You could add more to this dish if you liked. Wood air fungus would be great in this. You could add some veggies. Some creamy steamed potatoes to soak up that sauce would be amazing. But I'll keep it simple. Taste early and often so you can adjust the flavor, especially for saltiness and heat. It's really salty for me, so I'm adding more water to dilute a bit. And I want to add a bit of brown sugar. Not so much that it will taste sweet, but just to balance the spice. And lastly, a wee bit of cornstarch mixed with water to thicken the sauce slightly. Help the sauce cling to the tofu. And once it's bubbling again, it's ready. Ready to serve over white rice. Even though I unexpectedly ran out of white rice and had to sub brown rice for this shoot. But make no mistake, this dish is 1,000,001 times better over fragrant jasmine rice. In fact, minus 50 points for the brown rice. Brown rice lovers, don't fight me. This spicy, intense, mouth-numbing dish with delicious smooth tofu is worth it. If you've never cooked with silken tofu before, this is a great place to start. It's cozy, warming, and perfect for days like this, when it's supposed to be spring but it's still snowing. Or even in the summer when it's hot, and strangely, hot food can cool you down. Please give this dish a try and tell me what you think in the comments below. As well, let me know what other Chinese dishes you'd like to see veganized. I was so happy to see you guys make my deep-fried Chinese eggplant on Instagram. It's not the prettiest dish in the world, but boy did you love the flavor. And the Kung Pao tofu. Shout out especially to Justin and Tanisha from Logical Harmony, a great vegan beauty channel here on YouTube, and the authority on cruelty-free cosmetics with their website, logicalharmony.net, which you should definitely check out if you're transitioning your beauty and body care stuff, or just want to see what's new in vegan cosmetics. They got pretty addicted to that dish. I just love seeing you guys take these recipes and make them your own. It's the best gift you can give me, and it keeps me motivated to make these videos for you. As always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll do my very best to answer. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it and subscribe for more vegan recipes as well as vegan cookbook reviews. I just did one for the Hot for Food cookbook, which, spoiler alert, was amazing. And coming up, Vegan Risha's Everyday Kitchen. Bye for now!